All right, everybody. This is Real Talk Focus. You know what time it is. You know who we are. This is the next episode. In this episode, we're gonna touch on the base. It's actually been an epidemic, but now it's actually becoming in the light. And then I believe that it needs to be more talked about. So we're out here in the streets, and the episode is called Human Trafficking, because this is a serious epidemic, and I think it needs to be said. So it's out here in the streets to hear other people's opinions and hear other people's perspectives behind it. So here we go. And I'm here with
Laura,
Laura. I'm sorry, Laura. This is nice to meet you.
you too.
And thanks for giving us this opportunity, and I just want to hear your opinion about human trafficking.
Well, I think as a lot of people know, Portland unfortunately is one of the highest cities in the country for human trafficking, especially with kids. And I think it has a lot to do with we're off the I-5 and 205, the corridors and stuff like that. I think, I don't think as much time and focus is put on it, especially if it's kids that are black or people that are of color or Native American, indigenous people. I don't, that's just my personal feeling that I feel sometimes when kids do go missing that they maybe think of just as a runaway, whereas as a matter of fact, they might have been put into a bad situation and trafficked through that way. So,
Yeah, that's man, that's amazing because like a lot of people don't know about this stuff because it's a huge epidemic, you know. And so, well, what is your estimation about how many kids being trafficked each year?
to be honest, I couldn't tell you the amount. I know, I mean, I've listened like on NPR and other stations when they bring it up and talk about it, but I couldn't tell you a direct number of, I mean, I'm sure it's thousands here in the Portland area alone. It's probably more than that throughout the country. Um, but yeah, I would say probably thousands in this area.
Right, it's crazy because according to the Google statistics and also the National Center for Missing Children, is the estimation is 800,000 worldwide of children, being abducted or missing, and 80% of that is basically sex exploits, and that's a huge number. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
It's sad. I think we've done a great disservice. I think obviously a lot of things are coming to light with pandemic and racial justice and discrimination. I think it's sad that um, we don't. I can only speak to here in our country and whatnot. I think we don't put enough into prevention. We're a very reactive society, so when it happens, then we do, like, oh, this is horrible, but we don't put into place, I don't think, we don't put our money into social services, case managers, and things like that, where we're not being able to maybe catch these kids when we think that they might be in an endangered situation. I think if Jeffrey Epstein, who just committed suicide and, obviously a very wealthy man, but once again, a human trafficker. It can happen at all socioeconomic levels. It just looks different, maybe in different, if that makes sense, of how it's done and how other girls or boys can get other people into it. Um, not, not, I think sometimes maybe not meaning to, but then sometimes don't feel like they don't have any other choice, or maybe families to go back to, or too ashamed to say that they, fell into this somehow. So, and it's pretty sad. But I think, if we had more, what do I want to say, preventative measures. I mean, I'm old school. I'm 51, so meaning I think, I come from a different generation where, you were outside playing, you were all those kinds of things. There wasn't the technology that we have today. Not to say that human trafficking and abductions didn't happen back then, before what we have today for social media. Um, we probably just didn't know about it as much as we do now. Um, but once again, I think it really is, the onus is on society for helping to prevent things like this happening. So,
Yeah, I agree. That's really deep, you know. And so, man, that's crazy. No, no,
Sorry, but
that's odd. No, that's awesome. You know, it's because it's always good to hear other people's perspective on this,
yeah.
you know, and because it's a serious condition. And so I just want to thank you for your time.
Oh, thank
You
you.
know, oh yeah, you're welcome. Anything else you want to add on to this?
Um, I mean, I have young nieces and nephews, so that definitely, and some that live here in this area, but other ones that live in more rural areas. But once again, I think people, it's obviously a big problem in this area, but even in rural areas, it can happen. And just people educating themselves more. I think, too, is really knowing what's going on in your kids' lives. I don't have my own kids, but I definitely like what's going on in my nieces and nephews' lives or my friends' kids' lives. Like, you know, text me back, those kinds of things. I think it's a good thing to be involved, whether they want you to be involved or not.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much for your time. All right, welcome everybody, and we have another interviewer here with us, and her name is Sarbia. Or hi, Sarbia. I'm Donnie. This is Cesar, and then yeah, we're just gonna touch on the topic on human trafficking, and we just want to hear your thoughts about it because it hasn't been mentioned a lot in society. So I was gonna ask you, how many kids do you think go missing each year?
I don't know. No, I don't have any idea. A lot. Millions, I'm guessing.
It's crazy because according to the statistics, they're saying that 800,000 children go missing worldwide each year. And yeah, so what's your thoughts on that?
I think that's scary. And it's pretty unfortunate, that all these kids are out there and we don't we aren't making anything, we aren't doing anything about it. And me as a mother of three, it's really scary.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and the thing is, you know, we need, like you said, we need to come up with like solutions to this epidemic. And so, I mean, do you think as a community we should be able to do anything about it?
I think that we should be able to do something about it. I mean, there's a lot of money that I'm pretty sure the government gives, and we pay taxes. I think that more of that tax money that's coming out of our paychecks should be going towards finding a solution, or at least what's causing it. What's the root cause?
Yeah, that's amazing you mentioned that because you know with all this organizations, agencies, you know, investigations, you know, we should be able to come as a community to do something about it, you know, not just the government system. And so, I mean, is there anything else would you like to add to that?
No, I just want to say that it's really important that we talk about this subject, and it's great that you guys are out here getting people's opinions and creating awareness about the topic.
Yeah, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. We highly appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time.
Here, my name's Caesar, back again with Donnie over there on the camera, and we got Price here. And again, we're just getting people's opinions about something that's very concerning to us. And again, that's the amount of children that go missing a year, and also the amount of people that are victims to human trafficking. And so, with wanting to ask you, Price, what is your opinion just on human trafficking?
It's horrifying, like scary, dude. It's horrifying to think that that kind of shit still goes on these days. You know what I mean? Like people being bought and sold, and especially like children too, man. Like there's no level for like as dirtbag and creepy as that gets, dude. Like that's absolutely horrible. There's not much worse than you can do than like destroy the innocence of a child.
Exactly.
One of the worst crimes you can commit in humanity, dude. Like it's just fucked. There's no excuse for it.
Right, exactly. And do you have like any idea or like the amount of people that are fall victim to that?
I know it's got to be up in the millions, you know, like as far as worldwide, but yeah, I'd be like scared to find that number out.
Yeah, and actually, there's a good spot if you want to ever research it. If you go to Global Slavery Index,
.com or just
just index it. You'll find it, and right there, it's an organization that's been formed. It's out of Australia, and they've been doing research for the last like 4 or 5 years, and the amount of people is 40.3 million people globally.
Like a year or just
A year. And so it's and that includes men, women, children, foreign nationals, U.S. citizens. And so it's the thing. Why do you think this is not publicized so much? Why? What is your opinion on that? Why it's not made mainstream?
I don't know, dude. You can't think of any like solid reason unless people don't want motherfuckers to know about it. Like that should be everything going on is a huge issue. Don't get me wrong, but like that, especially man, people that should be number one. You know what I mean? That's just super scary to think that it could happen to anyone. And like I've heard over the years that it's pretty big in Portland too. Like you don't think of your own little fucking 10-year-old niece or nephew or anyone getting swooped up, but there's no crime that even comes close to that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing we're trying to get people to kind of understand and kind of realize it shouldn't be just tossed to the side just because it's not on our phones all day or it's not being blasted in mainstream media. And do you feel that we could do something as a community or as people locally here?
Dude, I mean, social media has proven that you can get anything out there these days, and like if there's anything to get out there, it's definitely like human trafficking is a huge issue, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be talked about more up there on all them regular fucking every night news channels people watch. It's like you see the dumbest shit on the news, and then there's stuff like that going on that no one's talking about. Like, how does that make sense, dude? Fucking, they'll film a cat on the tree and put it on the news, but issues like that just go aside. Like, that's not right.
Exactly. And that to us has made us feel like, what are our politicians doing? What are our governors doing? What is our government doing? Even worldwide governments, And it's been, if you go onto that website, you'll see that they found that they're not doing anything. Like it's like to improve it. They said that for it to be abolished or to eradicate that, they would have to free 10,000 people a year until 2030. Right. And so, I mean, I feel like, do you think, like, as a community, if we got organized, like really organized, maybe even try to start like our own political party where it's, something based for people that actually have a say or have concerns, the people, do you think people would join that or try to pursue something like that?
In this day and age, absolutely. You know what I mean? That's what we need more than ever is everyone just banding together, dude. Everyone's worried about like fighting. Yeah, I don't know, man. Everyone just needs to get along again, dude. It's nuts these days. That would be cool.
Yeah, something that, where it's for everybody, where it's for whites, blacks, Hispanics, people, indigenous people that don't have a word or don't know how to get out there, something that can unify us, So like create, because it doesn't take much, it only, like literally you can form your own political party, a couple $1,000, and if you get organized with the right people, it's possible.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. That'd be super cool. People are all supposed to get along, you know what I mean? We're all on the same planet. Like, there's no reason everyone should be fighting and all that shit.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I mean, do you got any thoughts or anything you want to say to people out there or what we should be doing or anything?
I don't know, man. I don't really got any fucking solid thoughts like that. I'm pretty stoned and tired right now, but I definitely believe in what you guys are doing, man. It's cool shit. That's an issue that needs to be talked about more, for sure.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, man. We're here with Angie and James, and again, we're gonna talk about the amount of kids that go missing and human trafficking. And so, Angie, just want to start off with you. What are your opinions on that?
I have a 4-year-old nephew, so I definitely it freaks me out when we go out to public places a lot, and I definitely have to have a arm's length with him or any children. Have my friend Sarah, she has 2 boys that are younger as well, and if they're not in my sight where I could just reach out for them, I'm definitely freaking out a little bit. Because every time I go to Mount Hood, the zoo, you see all these missing kids. In reality, it's just they're young kids, 15 and younger. It's just why are they not being found? I don't understand.
Exactly. Yeah, no, absolutely. Because you never know, and it's a sad thing to know or to think about, but here in Portland, it's one of the major spots where that happens, Even kind of locally here. I've heard a lot of stories, even down in this train station, the Beaverton Trans Center.
Oh,
A lot of
wow.
people trying to be kidnapped or attempting to
Wow.
be kidnapped and stuff like that. So you just never know, and it's something that it's not very talked about. But yeah, I mean, same question for you, James. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any kids personally or like any nephews or anything that are young, but like you said with Portland, been a pretty big issue for the last
For a
20
long time.
years. Human trafficking, sex trafficking especially. I mean, the Shanghai tunnels had a reputation for human trafficking. That's what they're famous for. I don't know if this pertains to your question, but I know when I go into Walmart, there's always like missing kids, posters all over the place, TV shows, John Walsh, find these missing kids. I see kids running around. I'm like, in Portland especially, I'm like, I don't know what's going on with these guys, but it's definitely a sad thing for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And why do you think that it's not made mainstream? Why do you feel that it's not publicized, it's not put in our phones constantly?
Stigma. There's a stigma around it, and it's shameful.
Yeah.
We don't want to admit that we're exploiting children for our own gratification or financial need or whatever.
Exactly, man.
I feel like it's just like normalized nowadays. Like that's just like what the United States wants to become. Like just like they could do whatever they want, very control based, and it's not okay.
Yeah, exactly. And what if you guys want to get more information? There's this website. It's awesome. It was actually created by this guy out in Australia. It's called the Global Slavery Index, and they've been doing research for the last probably 5 years on human trafficking, slave labor,
That's what we literally are.
forced
Yeah.
marriage, and all that stuff. They actually found that it's a good 40 million people are actually victims of human trafficking, and that includes children, women, men, U.S. citizens, foreign nationals, and so it's just it has caught our attention because it's our leaders, they don't do anything. It's like they're not, they're more
I
concerned,
think they're in on the game.
Yeah. So it's kind of
They're like, oh, that's a private party.
right, and so it's something that we feel like it should be pushed out more. Everybody should kind of be more concerned about it because, like you said, it's been going on for years.
Centuries.
I know there's a number of states in this country that still allow children under 15 to be married off.
Right.
So a lot of other countries will marry off their girls for like payment or
Exactly.
dowries. India, they're becoming more progressive, but they still have
Culture.
arranged marriages and, well, I'm going to marry you off because, I want you to be in this family or carry on my legacy. And that's something that needs to be talked about more too.
Exactly.
Children, as girls get younger, they get married off faster and sold off or for whatever.
Right, and in a lot of those countries, stuff like that, it's not even a crime. If anything, they get fines, slap on the wrist,
Yep.
and that's it.
I mean, things are changing, especially in India. As women get more rights, education, and work, you'll see less arranged marriages. Especially millennials like us. We're more on our phones with dating. So, but it still happens. So.
Exactly, and so maybe with time, we can all, if we all kind of join and start being more aware of that, because I know there's a situation right now that's going on and that's being more pushed out there. But I don't know. I mean, something like this that's been going on for years. I think it should be more of a concern. Like it's children, it's people, innocent people that are being destroyed and emotionally, mentally, physically at times. And it's like how can we not? Just because it's not happening to us, it doesn't mean it's like, man.
It's so problem.
Yeah, that we should exactly. And but yeah, I mean, again, if you guys want more information, definitely check that website out. It's again Global Slavery Index, and there's different organizations that are linked to it that they're trying to push for that kind of agenda. They even said to eradicate it, it would take 10,000 people to get free each year until 2030 for it to actually be eradicated.
And that's like,
And that's if you start now.
that's
Right.
all those kids that die that we never see again.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we definitely appreciate you guys coming on, and taking your time and chatting about this. But
We were just going to the store to get some groceries for dinner tonight. We're having carne asada. So
yeah, that sounds good. Can I get some? That's
You got
right.
it. You got it. I'm like, I got 10 minutes to share
Yeah.
with
Asian store back there, by the way, too.
I used to work there actually.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, well,
No, but
I'm just saying that my nephew is like either right here, or like I
Yeah.
tie under my waist. I'm like,
Right.
no. I'm just like,
Yeah,
it's
man.
like it's a tough world out there.
yeah, man, it's scary. It's scary,
Yeah.
but
It's scary for a person, like, too.
Right.
Like, you can't even go out anywhere without, like, being paranoid in
yeah,
reality.
I
exactly.
used to play outside by myself until dark
No,
as a
you can't do
kid.
that.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
don't
do
walk
that
outside
anymore.
at night by myself
You cannot
anymore.
do that
Nope.
anymore, no.
Right.
No, I'm like, where did Alvin go? Like, 5 seconds without me seeing him. I'm like, freaking
Right.
out. Like, no.
Right.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Angie,
Yeah.
it was nice
Nice
meeting
meeting you. Yeah.
James.
Right.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.
All right, guys. So we're back
Yeah.
at the base.
Yep.
But yeah, just coming back, interviewing those people about what we were talking about today. And again, it was about human trafficking and the amount of children that go missing. And again, it's something that it should be talked about nowadays more, because it's something that's been going on for years. It's all worldwide, and literally for years, and it hasn't been made a thing that it should be of concern. And it's kind of put off to the side, like it's whatever,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I truly agree what you're saying, because it's been behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So, with other epidemics going on, I believe they just use the other epidemics as a facade.
Right.
With
Yeah.
So they don't want us to know what's actually going beneath the surface
Right.
and
Right.
what's deeper than what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it feels like that at times, because you can't. I don't know, man. It's just the fact that those numbers are out there,
Yeah.
and there's people that are getting organized and trying to abolish this thing, And like I said, that Andrew Forrest from Australia, who started that initiative. It's a Walk Free initiative, trying to abolish modern slavery, which
Yeah.
it is.
It
you
is.
know, it is. It's
Yeah.
human trafficking is modern slavery, and it's in any kind of way. It's so many ways. It's forced marriage,
Yeah.
human labor,
Yeah.
for sex trafficking.
Yeah.
And then the amount of children that just go missing yearly, worldwide, it's 800,000.
Yeah.
And then just in the United States alone, 460,000.
Yeah. That's insane.
It's just, man. And then you got other countries out there that stuff like that, like forced marriages and labor laws. It's nothing. It's like it's not criminalized. It's not, and it's like in 47 countries, 100 countries are. It's crazy. If you read those numbers again, and guys, like, I would recommend going to the Global Slavery Index, and right there they have a lot of information. There's other organizations like
Oh yeah, like the International Labor Organization.
right, yeah, that's right, yeah, and
and
the International Organization for Migrants. It's just, these are organizations that are forming, that are trying to get this seen more, that we should be paying attention to.
right.
This is not something that should be taken lightly,
Yeah.
because again, it's innocent people
Yeah.
that are being harmed in the name of profit.
Yeah.
These people make crazy amounts of money,
Right.
off of this, and it's something that, if you just think about it, if your own child or your own family member was going through this, imagine the pain, the damage, emotional, mental, physical damage that's being done.
Yeah.
And then just worldwide, what that causes, like, that creates people who are just tainted inside them, and
Yeah.
then that just creates a bad domino effect in the long run,
Yeah.
and but yeah, man, I mean, to close out, I mean, we just keep paying attention to that. Let's not make it just something that we just, oh, it's not happening to me, so whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not happening. I don't see that. I haven't heard nothing. It's
Yeah.
not going through my phone. Oh, it's whatever. Oh, the news doesn't cover it. CNN doesn't cover it, or Channel Fox doesn't, or Fox 12 or Channel 6 or whatever doesn't cover it. It shouldn't be taken lightly. It should
Yeah.
be something that's very serious that we should start paying attention to. Because I mean, like I said, there's no real war on it. There's no,
Yeah.
real attack on it and trying to pursue a way to abolish this and eradicate it from our world, which it should
Right.
be.
Yeah.
There's no reason why any human being should be treated with force and being forced into something that they don't want to be, especially children, man.
Yeah.
Children,
Yeah.
they're innocent. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve to be manipulated into something that they don't deserve to be in, that they shouldn't be in. And everybody out there that has children, or even just feels for children, understands that.
Right.
We got to do something, and we got to do it, and we have to start being more aware of this, and
Yeah.
not just let it slide.
Right. Exactly. I
Yeah.
agree. And it's like all those children too, like I mentioned before, is the majority of them are like basically sold into slavery
Right.
from even their own relatives
Right.
and
Yeah.
family members.
Yeah, it's a sad
you know,
situation, man.
Yeah, and they're manipulative. That they manipulate them and tell them that they're gonna have a better life and a greater life.
Yeah.
But then the actually it's not even a greater life. It turns into some like slavery conditions.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
For
crazy.
a lot of us that don't think that exists, slavery doesn't exist. It does, man, and
Yeah.
it's a form that has been created into something so disgusting and vicious. And
Yeah.
man, do your research. Get out there, and I'm saying check that stuff out, research it, and let's start putting this out more. Let's make this something that's being known. And like, just with that, like some of the people said on the show, the Epstein thing that happened. We realized
Man.
what that can be. There's people out there with power, with money.
Yeah,
You
wealth
know what I'm
and
saying?
power.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That have connections.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. That should be an eye opener. That should be something that we should be concerned about.
Right.
But again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Another episode, and we're just gonna keep on trying to attack this thing, and we're gonna go into other things that are gonna, are happening that we should be all talking about. We
Yeah.
shouldn't be silent. We shouldn't just be, on our phones. Let's talk.
Right.
Come on, what are you scared of?
Yeah.
Let's communicate.
Yeah.
Why are you scared of communicating? You scared to talk? You scared to share ideas? We can communicate. We can still disagree and still come up and still understand each other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's start talking. Let's start. We invite every single person that wants to say something.
Yes.
And come on,
Yeah.
come on.
No matter what
Come
it
on.
is, just get off your get off your chest. Just come on.
That's
No.
it. No matter what it is.
Yeah.
But again, guys, we appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a great night. And again, let's just try to keep achieving greater,
Yes.
fighting for the better
Yeah.
of humanity.
Yeah.
You know.
Awesome.
All right, yo.
Yeah.
Peace.
Take care.